Welcome back to Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices, where we are supporting local businesses throughout the county. This week, we're going to speak to two businesses as they share their experience of Leo's training and support on their journey to success. Cliona Mackey from Mackey Coaches, in business for nearly 60 years. Now they've got 16 buses on the road. She's going to speak about the guidance she and her family business got from the Leo, while Tim and Jamie from the Pie Guys shared their story of an idea developed during lockdown to restore the humble pie to the position of greatness. Let's get into it. Tim, Jamie, Cliona, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, I have to say I'm disappointed, Cliona, you didn't bring a bus. The lads have brought pies.
Well, we couldn't fit the bus up on that table.
No, we couldn't, to be fair. But we'll just take it for given that you have lovely buses. But I'd like to point out significantly, Tim and Jamie, you have lovely pies,
Thank you
which we
very
are
much.
going to let there. Now, they are warm at the moment, and we are going to dive in and taste in just a minute. But everybody who comes on, we give them 30 seconds to talk about their business. Now, because there's three of you, we have to reduce that down to 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to begin. Cliona, 15 seconds, as brief as you can. Tell us about Mackey's Coaches.
Okay, Mackey Coaches was developed in 1957 by my husband Gerard's parents, and for the past 60 years it's been going from strength to strength. Approximately 10 years ago we added another side called Munster Chauffeurs, so we have limousine vehicles. The nicest vehicle in that Munster Chauffeurs is our 1920s vintage minibus. So as well as operating normal routes, school routes, private group hire, we cater for special occasions as well.
So a little bit of everything. I'm intrigued by the vintage minibus. The Pie Guys, I'm pretty much guessing it's in your title. But Tim, tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, well, exactly. It does exactly what it says on the tin. We make pies, not ordinary pies by any means, but pies that are designed very specifically to get people to rethink what a pie is really about. Everybody loves a pie. Problem is you can't get a good one anymore, so we decided to right that wrong and create pies that restore the pie to a position of greatness, as you said at the outset.
Now, I'm really holding back from diving in because I don't want to be eating for the entire episode, but we're going to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Jamie, pies are a big thing in other countries. The Irish kind of went off pies and we couldn't get a good one. I mean, you'd find them kind of mouldy in the deli that have been rotten all day. That's about all you could get.
Exactly, yeah, and Ireland has got some of the best ingredients in the world to actually make pies out of, so we took butter, which is probably one of the best.
We have a lot of that.
We have a lot, and it is the best in the world, and we've injected quite a bit of it into our pies, and that and kind of excellent beef, just really, really good solid products that we have in Ireland.
So when you set up, how do you go about selling? Are you selling at farmers markets? Are you selling direct to trade? What are you doing?
We went through this big journey when we first came up with this thought, and it included doing the farmers market route, and then we just thought, look, it's really difficult. There's a lot of clinging valiantly to marquees in Force 10 Gales, and we went through a bunch of
You weren't feeling that, I'm
No,
guessing.
we weren't
Yeah.
feeling that. And then we started to look at more formal structured markets, so a bit like the marina market, but not that. And finally landed on the current combination, which is the black market, which is out by Park Equive on the Monaghan Road. It's essentially, it's an old warehouse around which there's an array of containers selling a variety of different foods. It's a food hall, but with independent vendors. Brilliant place. And that's where we both sold originally through the hatch out the side and then built all of the pies. So that got us through the first sort of 6 or 7 months of existence, and then to our great joy and delight, we were also offered an opportunity to open in the English market, or the market as we refer to it in this neck of the woods, and we've been operating there now since the middle of July, and that's been unreal.
But it was a lockdown project, really, wasn't it? It was one of these, another brilliant business idea that was born out of crisis, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It happened through a chance conversation myself and Tim had. I was working in Diva in a bakery in Ballinspittle at the time, where Tim was a great customer. And we've been chatting for years and years and years, but just one day I asked him what he was up to, and he said, I'm going home to make a pie, and I said, oh yeah, I love a good pie, but you can't get a good one, and
Light bulb.
it was a bit of a light bulb moment, and ever since then we just started talking it out and talking about how we could make really, really good pies.
Cliona, I'm not sure about your opinions on pies. I'm presuming, like me, you like them and you can't wait to taste it now in a second. Yeah, but yours wasn't a lockdown project. You guys have been on the go, for nearly 60 years at this point. It'd be easy for a business to stand still, but you decided that wasn't for you.
No, my husband would have great ideas, never afraid of a challenge. When he took this over 30 years ago, it was a minibus. That was Mackey Coaches. And through his wonderful business acumen and his foresight, he built it up to a full fleet of coaches, from 9-seaters up to 55. At one stage we did have a double-decker. And then I joined the business about 16 years ago. And we work very well together. We complement each other in everything that we do. We have a fantastic team built up, from the office staff to the drivers. And we love what we do, but we can't stand still. Every business evolves. About 10 years ago, we decided, as well as getting into the larger wheels, there was an opening for the smaller vehicles. We do a lot of weddings, airport transfers, special occasions, Debs.
What I want to do is talk to both of you about the local enterprise office before we eat the pie. I'm still building up to it here, guys. What did they do to help you, Cliona?
Well, I think they're a great help, because no matter what you're thinking about doing in business, if you give them a shout or an email, there's always somebody there that knows what you're speaking about. And I suppose I came across them maybe 13, 15 years ago. We're currently doing a trading online voucher. Just set up a new website now as well.
A lot of older businesses say, well, sure, they're not for me. They're for startups like these two lads here. But it just shows you that
every day is school day.
Every day is, you're always learning, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
How did it help you guys? Because obviously you set up in deepest, darkest lockdown with your light bulb idea to sell pies. What did you guys benefit from with the local enterprise office?
Well, I didn't even really know about the local enterprise office, and I can't remember who it was that brought it to my attention. Was it you?
Yeah, it was a friend of mine, Mela. Mella's
exactly.
Fudge. If you know Mella's Fudge, she's a good friend of mine, and she said get in contact with the local enterprise office. They're really, really helpful. They're just a great bunch of people. So I said to Tim, because Tim is the guy who does
go get them.
Stuff. Yeah, go get them. And you did.
So I picked up the phone, and I have to be honest, I wasn't filled with optimism, because it felt like, okay, it's going to be part of the Cork County Council.
You were afraid it was going to be slow moving, you weren't going to get the benefit
and
from it.
There'd be a lot of paper, and there'd be a lot of that. And anyway, I got immediately through to a lovely lady called Katie Dunn, and she called me back in kind of minutes, which was already, okay, this is interesting. I told her roughly what we were doing, and she said, okay, that's great, we'll be out to see you. And literally, if it wasn't the same day, it was the same day.
Yeah,
because you nudged me and you went, so the local enterprise office is standing at the hatch.
Again, what about lovely tasty pies drew their attention so quickly?
You wonder, it happened to be around lunchtime as well.
It doesn't help to be selling this. But from the get-go, phenomenally responsive and interested in what seemed like a very genuine, not processy, bureaucratic kind of way. We got the feeling that they were almost invested in the idea of the thing.
What kind of courses, what kind of ideas did you benefit from?
Okay, so the first thing to say is we've had no money from the LEO. We've had no money at all. So all this enthusiasm isn't because we got loads of money. What we got was something that at our stage of development was even more important, and that was the LEO said to us, before we even get to money, we need to assign you a mentor, and that mentor will help us to assess what kind of a business you are, how well sorted out you are, what the strengths and weaknesses of you are, and then we can help provide guidance and support, and maybe down the road even some money. And I went, okay, a consultant. So not totally pleased about that either. Very wrong. We were assigned a fellow called Stephen Burke, I think it was, James Burke, I beg your pardon. He turned out to be magical in the sense of having a tremendous amount of experience that went from the macro, the price of labor and ingredients in the widest world, all the way down to here's who you go to get your packaging sorted out. So every time we met him, it was furious note-taking and number writing down, and really, really helpful guy.
So tell me a little bit about the pies that we have in front of us.
Right. So this one is our kind of flagship pie, I'd say you could call it.
A flagship. I never realised a pie could be a
Well,
flagship.
we
but there
didn't
we go.
either
Yeah.
until we started into this. So this is the one that everybody's looking for. It's a beef and beamish pie. So this is pure Cork.
Pure Cork, beef and beamish. And next to it?
This is chicken cider sage.
Okay, very good.
And these are our two breakfast pasties. So, Corkish pasties.
I'm afraid to cut into them all because I don't want to cut into them all. Do me a favour, cut open the landmark pie. So I just want to see the inside of that if we can.
Beef and beamish.
Yeah, the beef and beamish. So just
yeah.
give it an owl. Give it an owl. Oh, look at that. That's actually quite good in its own right. Look at that. I'm going to turn that towards Chris there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? That's good quality. And cut the breakfast one for me as well, if we can.
The breakfast pasty.
Yeah, the breakfast pasty.
This has got free range pork and from West Cork, cheese, egg.
That is stunning. Now I'm going to do a thing that you should never do on camera, which is eat it, right? But what I'm going to do is, because you guys are used to eating your own pasties, I'm going to say you can have half of that there, Cliona, if you want. Then I'm going to have the other half of this.
There you go.
And I'm going to say you can dive away. I'm going to be completely and utterly uncouth and use my fingers. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for bringing pies, which is the main thing. Cliona, looking forward to being on your bus sometime soon.
I hope you will.
Yeah, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can look at them all on redfm.ie. Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices. I'm going to eat this and we'll see you on the next one.